Okay. I think we are live. Um, Great. Am I visible, audible? Pratyaksh, I think we have Pratyaksh. I'm audible, visible, proper.
Right. Yes, yes.
I think we are live. Yes. Perfect. Yes. Okay. Great. Uh, Hello, everyone. Hello, Presto community. Uh, Welcome to this Presto community sync call, April 2026. And I think this is our first ever community sync call, and I'm very much excited to start this off and meeting our Presto community on regular basis. I think that is something we are planning to do on a regular basis and meet our community folks. Uh, yes, I think we are on time. Yes, absolutely. Okay, great. So hello everyone. My name is Saurav. I work at IBM as developer relations engineer for open source Presto. And so actually the agenda, basically the motive was of this call was to share the Presto project updates with our community, um, bring new people to the ecosystem, right? And if you are a regular contributor to open source Presto, thank you so much. Keep contributing and just this sync call is just for basically the contributor and anyone who wants to contribute to open source Presto, or anyone who is looking forward to learn about Presto, that what open source Presto is, what direction we are moving, what are the regular updates, anything. And if you are an open source developer, this is your place, right? So first of all, thank you so much who have joined us, and there are few amazing things which have happened in last 3 months, basically in the last quarter. And in this community call, we will share the updates, the work our community has done in Presto open source Presto. And before we begin, there are few things that I wanted to share with everyone. So if you are watching live, please drop a comment in the YouTube live. So that I would be able to know that you are uh, here with us. And yes, so if you are new to open source Presto, or if you are um, very much new to the ecosystem, please join our Slack channel and join our Slack community. That is the one place that we share all our regular updates, all our community work, everything basically. So please join that. I have already dropped the link in the comment box, so you can just join it from there, right? It's very simple. So welcome everyone. Let's start. So yeah, this is the link of the community if you haven't joined. If you looking forward to join it, so yes, this is the QR code. You can scan it and be the part of the ecosystem. So let's move forward. And yes, there are few things which I wanted to share. So before that, if you are in any of these cities, please join the local meetup group as well. So we post and we publish a lot of um, events in the meetup groups, either virtual or in person. So if you are uh, not part of these meetup groups as of now, closest to your city, please join that, right? Perfect. So there are two major things that I wanted to share with the community. So there are two upcoming events. One is on 28th of April. So this is the part of our hands-on workshop series, and this is our second workshop. The first workshop already happened, I think, 2 weeks back. So this is the second one. So if you haven't joined yet, so you can just go to prestodb.io. This is our official website and events. So you can join it from here, right? Just click on it and you will be redirected to the link, right? And yes, second one that is very important and very, so this is very much for the data engineers, professional data engineers, and people who are working with Presto on a regular basis. So VeloxCon already has been announced on 29th and 30th April. This is a 2 days event at Meta headquarters in Menlo Park, right? So if you are nearby in Menlo Park, please join us. Just same, all both events are already up and live on Presto website, right? So please join us, and I think we will be sharing a lot of events and updates from our end on a regular basis now. So yes, today we have Pratyaksh with us. Pratyaksh is a software engineer at IBM. He's very much active and very active contributor to open source Presto. Apart from that, he's a committer to Apache Hudi project. And yeah, he's very much involved in open source Presto, I think, from a very long time. I think more than 5 years, 4 5 years, right, Pratyaksh? Right. So he's very much experienced, and I think you will able to you will hear more updates on the project open source Presto project from his side. So yeah, I think so. Up to you. Over to you, Pratyaksh. And yeah, I think we are good to go.
Sure. Thank you, Saurabh. Thank you for the quick introduction. And first of all, welcome everyone. Good morning and good evening. Welcome to the first ever community sync call for the Presto community. And so in this call, we are going to do a few things. Okay, so let me first share my screen. I hope my screen is visible. Right, Saurabh?
Yes, yes, your screen is visible. Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah. So, because this is the very first community sync call, so many of you might not be aware what is the plan, what do we need, what do we want to do in these calls. So to give a quick background of what we are planning to do, we'll go over the contribution stats from the last quarter. This is the first meeting, so we are planning to cover the last quarter from January to March. We'll quickly go over the contribution statistics for the community. We'll go over some of the key highlights from the feature pack 0.297 release. And we'll also see some ways how you can engage with the Presto community. In case if you have not yet started contributing, we actually encourage everyone to start contributing to Presto. Okay, so let's get started. And in the last quarter, January to March, we had a total of 310 commits. And I think so more or less the trend was on the increasing side only. So we had 97, 92, and 121 commits. And these commits were all spread across different modules or different components of Presto. So most of the work has gone into native execution, documentation. Documentation is basically an ongoing process. It is an area of active investment for Presto because I think if you talk about Presto for, let's say, around 2 years or 3 years back, right? So Presto documentation was something which people were not very happy about. So I think the situation is now improving, and now we have much better documentation compared to what we had in the last 2 3 years. There is work which is going on in the security and authentication side of process, and connectors like Iceberg connector and Hive connector have seen the maximum amount of work going on in the last quarter. So for those of you who are not aware about native execution stands for the C++ workers. So Presto originally was written in the Java language, like the coordinator and workers, they were both in Java. But with the native execution initiative, we actually have workers written in C++ language, and they are like they are basically for people who are looking for price performance with Presto clusters. Okay. So because this is a new initiative, so the work is currently going on to bring feature parity between Java workers and C++ workers. On the Iceberg connector side, we have the V3 support. Iceberg V3 spec is live if people are aware already with the Iceberg community. And basically, work is going on to bring that support to Presto. And there were a few more major improvements in the Iceberg connector, which we'll be having a look at in some time. There were some dependency upgrades, documentation I already talked about, and in the Hive connector, we had metastore caching improvements, which also will be going about when we talk about the 0.297 release. Okay, so let's go and talk about the 0.297 release. So I'll go to um, Presto website. And as you can see, this is the Presto website, like the Presto documentation website. And so the latest release is 0.297, which came after a period of around 4 months. So as you can imagine, this is a feature-packed release. There were a lot of cool features which went into this release, and we'll be having a look at them. So first of all, let's talk about the breaking changes which went into this release. So we now have access control for procedure calls as well. Uh, Prior to 0.297, basically any user could run any procedure which is supported in the Presto Iceberg or Presto Hive connectors without any access control in place. But now, going forward, procedure calls are going to be restricted. So in case if someone is already using Presto and they are on versions prior to 0.297, please make sure that you configure Presto accordingly to so that you are able to run the procedure calls. And I think one of the major highlights from the release was we now have the LANS connector in place for the LANS DB datasets. LANS DB datasets are basically columnar data format, which are used for AI and ML kind of workloads. So this connector actually brings Presto closer to AI ML kind of workloads. And we now support multi-statement transactions for Iceberg connector for a single table. Create vector index SQL support has been merged already in this release, and Iceberg version was upgraded to 1.10.0 for the Presto Iceberg connector. This brings us actually almost at par with the latest version of Apache Iceberg, which is 1.10.1 right now. Going over some of the changes from the different connectors and from the SPI level as well. So improvements were merged for the explain command. In case if you are not aware of this, we recommend you to go to the Presto documentation. Let me open a new tab actually. And what you can do is you can go to documentation, you can go to SQL statement syntax, and you will see explanation about the explain command, which I'm talking about. Okay. And apart from that, there were some improvements on the optimizer side. We have like DDL supports were added for create branch, drop branch, create tag, drop tag, the write audit publish data quality pattern, which Iceberg supports, right? So all of that was added as part of 0.297 release. Um, we have some improvements in the event listener plugin as well. We highly recommend you to actually have a look at the improvements which have happened. So basically in the release item, in the release notes, the way you go about the release notes is basically you have a heading in place, and then there is a PR number which is linked. So in case if you're interested to know more about what has actually happened with this particular feature, you can actually go to this PR and you can open it, and then you'll see more details about what has gone into this particular PR. Okay. We have had quite a few improvements for the materialized view. That is something which is like actively being developed for the iceberg connector as well. In case if people are using controlled environments, then we have the capability now to disable the Presto UI, which was enabled by default prior to 0.297 release. So there is a new configuration which has been added for disabling the UI. And I want to talk about this comprehensive JMX metrics reference for metadata operations. So basically, as part of this PR, new JMX metrics were like introduced, which can actually help you to monitor how your network IO operations are performing when Presto talks to Metastore and comes back, right? So this can help you monitor the Metastore related calls. And quickly going over a few more features. So we have improvements in the time zone support as well. New time zones are supported with 0.297, and yeah, so default can be added with the add column, and uh, few more features have been released. On the Prestissimo side, the feature parity work is going on, and as part of that, a few session properties have been added. So we recommend you to go over these. On the security side of things, CVs have been resolved with a lot of dependency version upgrades, and access control is added for the procedure calls. So as I already mentioned, that you'll have to configure Presto accordingly in order to call the procedures. So these are all the different dependency upgrades which have happened as part of this release. Uh, Talking about the Lakehouse connectors, for the Delta Lake connector, we now support with the show create table command. When you run this create show create table command, you will be able to see the table location of the table for which you are trying to see the output of the show create table. That was one good feature, useful feature which was added. And also we have had AWS SDK upgrade from V1 to V2 because AWS SDK V1 declared its end of support on 31st December 2025. On the Hive connector side, which is one of the main connectors for Presto, we now support fine-grained configuration for Hive Metastore caches. Like the Metastore cache is basically defined on the Presto coordinator. And so what used to happen is when you enable this cache, Metastore cache, all the different caches which were a part of this, they will all be enabled by default, right? But now there is this new config which can be used for controlling, let's say, if you want to only enable the table names cache or the schema names cache, or if you want to enable everything, so you can configure it accordingly for that. And again, AWS SDK was upgraded for this also. Similar goes for Hoodie. Iceberg connector is something which had the maximum amount of upgrades or new features, I would say. So as part of the ongoing Iceberg V3 spec support, insert operations were supported. A new metadata table was introduced, wherein you can see the changes on the metadata side for any Iceberg table which you are working on. For the write, audit, publish, data quality pattern, create branch, drop branch, the implementations for these SQL supports were added. And a couple of new procedures were introduced. One is the write manifest file, and there was one more. Yeah, rewrite data files procedure. These were added as part of 0.297 release. And then there were a few dependency upgrades. So yeah, these were all the different features which have gone into the 0.297 release. And documentation. Anyways, we encourage everyone who is contributing to Presto to write public facing docs in case if the PR is eligible for one, right? Okay. So going back to the documentation which I was sharing. So basically these are all the different areas where active development is now happening on the Presto repository, on the Presto code base. And um, yeah. So next, I would like to give a quick shout out to the contributors who have had the maximum number of commits in the last quarter. So Amit Datta from Meta, he has had the maximum number of PRs merged, which is like 26 in the last quarter. I think most of his work has gone into native worker side. We have Srini from Meta who has like 13 PRs merged. Ritika from IBM with 12 commits. Prateek from IBM with 12 commits. I think for Ritika, some of her work has gone into the Iceberg connector around adding the create branch, create tag kind of SQL syntaxes and Iceberg implementations. We have Dong Wang from Meta, Pramod Satya from IBM, Sumi Matthew from IBM, Anant Aneja, Tim Mihan, who is our TSC chair from IBM, and Kevin Tang from Meta. Thank you to all of you for all of your great contributions, and we look forward to more contributions from your side. And talking about contributions, I would like to give quick shout outs to people who have done their first ever contributions to Presto. So we have Garima who was able to get 6 commits merged into Presto, and I think most of her work has gone around documentation changes. So quick shout out to you. Shout out to Enrique JJA725 particularly because he actually contributed the Presto Lens connector, which strengthens Presto's capability around AI and ML workloads. Alan, again, he had some documentation related changes. Saurabh, he is currently hosting this meeting as well, and he made some documentation changes around Presto C++ installation and deployments. So thank you, Saurabh. Simon, with some Velox build fixes, RDTR with time zone updates. He introduced new time zone in Presto codebase. We have few more first-time contributors. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Lex PR Fun Call. That's his GitHub ID, I think. He made some thread pool sizing fixes, and IAHS, Vivek, Madhavan, Kyle Wong, Ishan, Alexei, Prabhu, Apurva, all of these people, they made their first ever contributions to Presto. So please give them a big shout out. Thank you so much for your contributions. And we look forward to your uh, continuous engagement with the Presto community. So having talked about this, I would now like to um, talk about how you can actually engage with the Presto community. We actually want to see more and more people join the Presto community, more and more people engage with the discussions happening in the Presto community. You can basically make documentation changes, write new blogs. If you see there is a lack of some blog which needs to cover something in Presto query processing, we highly recommend you to do that. So before going to this, I would like to talk about how to get involved with the Presto community. So prestodb.io is the Presto community page, the website. And there are a few meetups which Saurabh already mentioned about in the beginning of this sync. So you can join them. You can join our Slack. The QR code for that was already displayed by Saurabh. So once you join that, this is how it actually looks like. By default, you will have a general channel wherein you can ask any questions around Presto usage. You can actually help answer questions as well in case if you are aware how to fix someone's doubts, how to resolve someone's doubts. Also, you will see announcements around the upcoming virtual events or in-person conferences, etc. in this channel. So we recommend you to be active on this. There is a dev channel which you can use for asking for reviews in case if you have a PR open and you're not able to get committer reviews or reviews in general. We have this channel wherein you can post about which particular PR you want to get committer review or reviews on, and this channel is continuously monitored. And after posting here, you will be able to get replies, reviews as soon as possible. And again, you have this direct messages, which is like common on any Slack workspace. Uh, Along with that, there are different ways you can actually open a GitHub issue. You can contribute code changes. If you if you are a front-end expert and you see some problems with the Presto UI, we encourage you to like contribute the fix to the Presto UI. And there is a community calendar for which I have the link here as well, the meeting schedule, right? So if I open this for you, um, yeah, so this is what opens on that link. And this is basically the view is on a weekly basis. You can change it actually. So as you can see, this week we only have this architecture working group meeting. So we have different working groups which talk about different areas in the query processing on Presto. So for example, this architecture working group meeting is scheduled today only at 10:30 p.m. IST. And if I go 1 week earlier, so you can see like 3 more meetings were scheduled. So we encourage you to join these working groups to engage with the Presto community. You don't really need to be a contributor or a committer to be a part of these working groups. So, and these working groups, they schedule their meetings on a regular basis. Some is by some like organize it on a monthly basis, some organize it on a bi-weekly basis. So yeah, you can actually click here and you can see like, for example, this is the monthly meeting for the optimizer working group. We also have a Presto TSC meeting wherein so this happens on second Tuesday of every month. And here we discuss about what were the notable RFCs, notable PRs, notable issues, etc. in the last 1 month on the Presto community, on the Presto GitHub, right? And also we discuss about if there is any RFC which you want to present to the entire community. So our TSC members join here and um, again, we would ask you to join these meetings as well. And yeah, so in case if you are looking for starting your contributions to Presto, so we would ask you to check the Presto GitHub issue page and look for issues labeled with good first issue. So how do you do that is, for example, you go to issues on the Presto GitHub repository, and in labels, you search for good first issue. Okay. Um, Once you do that, you'll see all the issues which are currently open, which are labeled as good first issue. Good first issues are like a good starting point for you to get your contribution journey started with Presto, because some of them might be a minor doc fix or maybe a minor code change which is needed. So yeah, these are good ways for getting involved and getting started on your contribution journey. Along with this, for new contributors and for existing contributors, we encourage you to have a look at the contributing.md page. This gives you all the guidelines around how you can contribute to Presto. Uh, Along with this, you can have a look at the architecture page as well. That will give you some idea around what are the use cases for which Presto is suitable. We encourage you to go to Presto documentation and install Presto, try it out on your local. Go to deploying Presto and you'll see all the different instructions around how you can run Presto using a tar file, using Docker, using Helm charts, etc., etc. So these are some of the good ways for going about uh, starting your contribution journey and engagement with the Presto community. So uh, I think that's all I wanted to cover as part of the first sync meeting. And in the next meeting, in the next sync call that we will be having, the plan is to cover the contribution statistics and the major contributions for the period April 1st to April 30th. So yeah, over to you, Saurabh.
Thank you, Pratyaksh. I think that was enough. I think very much. I think it would be very much good starting point for the new contributors and people who are new to Presto. And yes, people who are regularly contributing to Presto, thank you so much, folks. And so this community sync call we will be doing on monthly basis. Pratik, can I share my screen once again?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, I think my screen is visible. Okay, yes. So yeah, so we will be doing this on a monthly basis, and uh, so please come up with your questions or anything you want to discuss with the contributors or maintainers. So the first starting point is please join the Slack channel. That is very much important. Also, Pratyaksh mentioned that how you can start with the good first issues if you are very much new to Presto. So there is a very good starting point. We have already uh, created for the new contributors. So this is the blog link you can follow if you are absolutely new to Presto and want to contribute to Presto. So this hands-on guide will help you from end to end, basically. So how you can do this. So yeah, I've already shared the, I think, link in the chat box, so you can pick it from there. So yeah, I think it's very much helpful. And yeah, so anything, Pratyaksh, you want to share anything important? Yes, about one more thing. Please register for the upcoming events. Please do the RSVP for the hands-on workshop and VeloxCon. I have already shared the link in the chat box. So yeah, I think you will get to learn a lot more about the Presto and Velox work that our open source community is doing, right? So this is the page where you can register from it directly. Okay. Uh, anything else, Pratyaksh?
And yeah, one last thing. So in case if people have any doubts, any concerns, or anything you want to ask, I think you can comment on the comment section below the YouTube video link which you have. And yeah, we'll try to answer your questions and get back to you as soon as possible. Another good way is Presto Slack that we have been highlighting in this call to engage with us. Right.
Yes, absolutely. And apart from that, if you are already a Presto user, you're already using Presto in your data stack, in your analytics stack, there is a form link in the description box of this YouTube live. Just fill that form and we will get in touch with you. And we would love to hear your story that how Presto is doing a game-changing work uh, for your data stack. So we would love to have you in our next community sync calls, and we would love to share your story with our open source community. So don't forget to check that out. So yeah, I think thank you so much, people who joined us, and I'm looking forward for the next community sync up calls. And I think for the next upcoming calls, we would be having a lot of things that we'll be sharing because the latest Presto 0.297 release has a lot more features. I think for me, it was the Lance DB connector. I think now we are moving towards the AI workloads. So I think that would be very much helpful, those who are working on the AI side, AI/ML side. So yeah, thank you so much everyone who joined. Please post your questions or anything if you are if you joined late this live, so no problem. Just join the Slack channel and we would happy to answer your questions. So thank you, Pratyaksh. Thank you so much once again for doing this. And yeah, bye bye. Bye, folks.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye
Take
bye.
care. Bye.